Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Fans of Power podcast. I'm Tyler Baker, and with me, as always, is the Rotten Amato, Joe Amato, and Nasty Nate Kennedy. Gentlemen.
Hello, I'm here. I hope Fedmon shows up, because boom, look at that. It moved.
Yeah, look at you,
It's gradually creeping up on me. Like, he keeps talking about it, and he keeps talking about it and talking about it. Like, oh, that's yours. And I think this thing's finally starting to take offense to that, and it might just beat me up. Live on the show.
You need to pose it with a beer bottle or something. Didn't you say that's like the drunk My Little Pony or something like that?
It's you know what? I'll just go ahead and pull it off. Like, because they all have the marks on them. It's the berry punch. I feel I feel dumb holding it. I would throw it across the room, but it's hers. So I'm gonna mute my mic and actually go put this back because it'll probably fall off of my chair at some point anyway. Sorry.
All right, and it's going to be hosting next week. It'll be starting the show off with the pony right up in the camera.
Or just sitting in the chair, and Nathan's not even there.
That's demented. Well,
somehow we go live.
Exactly. Well, first let me say hello to everyone that's in the chat room, because you guys were here before we even started again. Delvis78, Zentron, I'm scrolling down, JSP, Adam Gabbert, Grimbot, Motu Fan number 1, your favorite Blockhead. And I think I got everybody because I didn't know how much this updated because, everything that I have just goes. In Orion, Pax 85. So, and Zen Brown. I think I said Zen Brown, but you know how I am. I can forget what I'm doing in a half a second. But you wanted to read a message from one of the listeners, correct, Nathan?
Yeah. It was really cool. Like, between all the shows, sporadically we do, obviously on this show, you guys get more comments on these videos, but sometimes, like, when you guys message us or comment on stuff, the things you guys say are so just amazing. Like, it still boggles my mind each day that we are able to provide something that you guys not only look forward to, but it like helps you guys out with how you're feeling through the week. And it's weird to think that I can play a part in your life and like make you happier or make you forget about stuff. So the comment says the banter between the three of you is fantastic. I hope Fans of Power keeps going throughout 2019. You have been a credit to a tough year, always making me smile. And I'm just like, I thank you guys for tuning in every week and being here and hanging out with us. And it's incredible. It really is. Like, it blows me away all the time.
No, it's a great feeling. That's what I mean. I mean, any messages like that, and of course everybody from the chat room all the time, but like I said, we just have a blast doing it. If we can make somebody feel happy or enjoy their day, and if things are going bad and, they watch us and they, feel a little bit better, hell, I think we're doing something right. You at least, you hope you are when you hear stuff like that. And Delvis, I do believe I said you were the first person I said, Delvis78. I think I said that, but remember, guys, I speak 100 miles an hour, and I also thought I said hello to MaxWorks, which, by the way, I want to say one thing.
Hello, okay. Carson, by the way. Good to see you show up there, bud.
Yes, and speaking of Carson, it's funny he shows up because, Carson, you're going to have to say something in the chat room if you still have any of these available. But this is something Carson did all by himself. The penciling, inking, coloring, writing the whole thing. He turned one of the audio stories, the German audio stories of Masters of the Universe, Assault on Castle Grayskull, into this unofficial fan comic. I don't know if he still has any for sale, but I'm telling you guys, this is so worth it. I mean, just the beautiful colors and art. This is art that is just, I'm going to watch my mouth. I'm not going to cuss. It's freaking fantastic. This is
Give him time. Wait for his setup to just like hit the ground, because I know a lot of people anticipate that every episode. But
and I'm gonna be cool. Like I said, I don't cuss like a drunken sailor, but sometimes I just out of excitement curse. But just damn, I mean, each page is. Each page. What did I cuss? I don't even. Did I cuss?
You said damn. You're just like, yeah, but damn.
Oh, okay. Well,
you're already breaking the own rules you're setting for yourself.
Well, I'm not gonna drop no F-bombs, but I mean, it's like every one of the pages is like its own poster piece of art. But this man put so much blood, sweat, and tears. Really, blood, sweat, and tears into this. I've never seen one person do an entire comic like that. Of like, I thought it was over 80 pages. So, Carson, you can always let me know here in the chat room again if you do have any for sale, and I'll let people know how to contact you. But damn it, this is great. I even love the back of it. It looks like the back of like the audio cassettes, those German audio cassettes. Like that's how.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, just genius. So it's weird he popped up, but I had to do that. He says there is some left, so I'll make sure I give you guys links in case anybody's interested in this. You have to pick it up. It's well worth it. So
yeah, if you want to, go ahead and just comment on the video and leave the link there, and people can follow that as well.
Yes. Carson's the same guy who did the mini comics also too. So if you don't know what Joe's talking about at the moment, if you like the mini comics that me and Carson worked on, it's a whole big book filled with his artwork. So just to kind of hammer in.
Guy's one heck of an artist. See, I said heck of an artist. I'm getting better.
You already said damn and damn it. So Joe, it's already a lost cause. But everyone give some love to Ryan Pax 85. It's first time in the chat.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes, and I did acknowledge him, but yes, thank you for joining us. And he said it's first time here. We seem they're pretty cool. Well, we try to have fun, man. We'll talk about things from the present, the past, what we'd like to see in the future, and it's just us shooting the breeze back and forth, just a bunch of fans having fun. That's what we've been doing all this time. It's 3 years straight, and we're just going to keep on going. I mean, there's no stopping us.
And if your idea of a new Masters film is Chris Pratt as He-Man, you're in the right place.
Exactly.
God Almighty,
Joe. That was beautiful, by the way. When you posted that on Facebook, it was fantastic.
And I love how some people were just thinking Joe was being cute and funny. Had no idea it was connected to my, ranting on the podcast.
Right.
People were just like, I don't know if I agree with that. Of course you don't agree with that, you moron. Just.
And I'm sorry. Also, Fedmon and Zentron. I don't believe I acknowledged you guys, so I just wanted to acknowledge you as well. So thank you for joining us, just in case I didn't.
I got someone I need to acknowledge too. I have a beautiful young woman who's currently watching the podcast right now. Beautiful young woman named Jackie, and oh my gosh, she's like sending me text messages like, "Take my shirt off on the podcast." I'll have to do that privately, there, honey.
Okay. What's going on? Is this somebody?
I mean, good for her, but I speak for everybody in the chat and on here in the round table.
She didn't actually send that. I'm making that up to embarrass her while she's watching this live.
We do not want to see you with your shirt off.
Well, of course you don't. But you know what? If the woman, you always like to try and please the woman. So I made it up, though. All right.
Just flexing. He puts on a makeshift He-Man harness that he made out of paper mache or something.
No. I could never wear it. It would have to be like a customized look, legitimately well done He-Man harness. Like I couldn't just slap on one of those like cheap ones you saw like Chris Pratt wearing Saturday Night Live or something like that. So.
Well, at least you gave her a hard time. Hopefully, she does appreciate that what you did live. So.
Yeah, but if she's watching, as far as I know, she's watching right now. So
pressure's on, man.
Unless she's like, oh my god, like this is nothing what I thought this was going to be. In this,
I mean, you better deliver. It better not be like.
I already told her like the pressure's on to really, bring the wit, bring it all. Like I get it, and I've lost Joe. Like my co-host is just.
Oh no! I'm still listening because I was wanting to show something. I wanted to say, okay, Funko. I just had to say this. It's like Funko. I feel like they're taking over everything in a good way. It's insane. Yeah. I mean, not only the amount of different figures that they have offered of so many different styles, not just Masters of the Universe little things. Not only the 5.5-inch style, but they showed that they had some kind of like Skeletor cereal, and they have a Skeletor cereal bowl and a Skeletor little minifigure that comes with the cereal that you
and the spoon. Don't forget the spoon, because actually Jake Juggalo sent me a message with the pictures with the cereal and the spoon and everything.
It's like it's insane. I was like, what don't they make? But then it doesn't stop there, because this is what Nathan showed me a few weeks ago. We're doing another podcast. It's our Beyond Retro we do. And Nathan was wearing a really cool Bloodsport T-shirt.
Joe. Yeah, it was time to make Tyler jealous.
Well, no, not really, because he's not going to be jealous of this. But he had a cool Bloodsport T-shirt, which came in a box set. And this box set looked like an old VHS-style box.
Let me go ahead and just grab it.
And show it.
I'll go ahead and show it to these guys. And so it's basically just a T-shirt in there, and they kind of make it look like
it's like a 3-hour film on VHS.
Yeah, it's like Godfather and Titanic or whatever.
Right. I mean, like we know that Bloodsport was a 2 VHS thing, but
it should have been. It should have been longer.
Yeah, but it was their way of fitting it into a box so it looked retro. But the thing is, it was only $10. It's like
Yeah,
you go to-
$10.
Yeah, $10 to get the box set with the shirt. Which I had to get the Back to the Future one. So they got this Back to the Future. It's cool as hell, and it's like 1.21 gigawatts. This is just a cool ass shirt, and damn, it's like what is. I just had to say it about Funko. I don't know if eventually I'm hoping they do some He-Man. Could you picture that if they did the '87 He-Man movie in this kind of box set?
Oh,
with that shirt?
Yes.
It's like Funko. I don't know if you guys, like I said, have been buying stuff from them, but they're amazing. It's like I've never seen a company do so many different things. It's like from cereal. I mean, who would have thought cereal too? I don't know about you guys, but it's insane.
Well, I heard that the cereal doesn't taste that good. Because Jake Juggalo was like, it sounds kind of meh. And I was like, yeah, you know what? It does. I can just picture eating it now, and I imagine it tastes like cardboard and ground up hobos.
You have experience eating ground up hobos?
Hey, man, I'm not at liberties to say.
Well,
fava beans.
I kind of feel like Joe would have been the one who eats at the ground up hobos. Maybe
I mean, hell, if I'm the one that
they serve at Dollar Tree.
Yeah, if I'm the guy that's eating 30-year-old gum live on a podcast, yeah, I guess
that was beautiful.
And yeah, that was some bad stuff. But most people probably, I mean, the ones who don't eat.
Do you have that reputation in your neighborhood, Joe? Like people find like a half-eaten apple in the back. Like, what if Joe would eat this for a quarter?
Is that when Booby and Pumpkin show up and they're like, "Hey, this is old. You want to eat it? I'll give you $1." And you're like, "Yeah, okay."
Okay.
Well, again, they do always love that. I always love going over there and having barbecue.
Joe's all about free food. Doesn't matter what it is. Like, here, Joe, eat this. Okay.
No, I mean, pretty much if it's free and I know it's at least not, from the dumpster or something, I'm gonna, yeah.
I don't know.
But he says that
as
he
if like
says
Joe
that
has like
with
a
a
very
hint
special
of like, he almost kind of gives you hope that even if it was from a dumpster, he would at least consider it.
Can I bring up something? This is non-Masters Universe related.
We're getting the story.
Anything else but right now.
Well, back in the old neighborhood, there was a guy that rode his bike around. We called him the Coupon King because this guy would collect as many coupons as possible to get so many good deals. He knew when they had double and triple coupon day, but he would dumpster dive at times, and he would go back to some of the stores.
I think it's just Joe describing himself, just gave himself an edgy name.
well, so like I said, he jumped in the back of dumpsters, and he would sometimes get out big.
Like it's just Joe's alternate alias,
scarf.
the Coupon King.
I'm the Coupon King. Where's the mask? Wearing like a little bike with the basket in the front.
Actually, the mask though, it's kind of like reminiscent of the $1 Million Belt.
Yeah.
Well, the guy in the neighborhood was the Coupon King, and he would get deals, but he would also dumpster dive. And he'd sometimes get really big bags of chicken, and sometimes just things thrown out, pork chops and steaks, and he would sell them real cheap. And I would buy some, but it's
my God, Joe.
Well, it was
all right. Well,
it's
been real, guys. I'll see you later.
But I'm saying,
how is it Joe can act like he's so proud? Like, you're not sending me a damn gift. Otherwise, I'm sending an entire mob squad after you.
What? Something food from the dumpster? Yeah, I'll pay for that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a bargain.
No, I'm telling you, it was.
You don't know how rare this is, people. Here, he found giblets in the dumpster.
Well, no, listen. Well, first I want to say hello to Steph Curry, who joined us in the chat room live.
Steph Curry?
The basketball player? The guy who shimmies? I can't stand the shimmying.
No, it's Steph. It's Steth. Steph.
But like I said,
Steph Curry.
Yeah, it wasn't rotten. It was like freshly thrown out there.
Oh, and that justifies the great price. Like it's not rotten, but it did come out of a dumpster.
So I just had to bring it up, but he was a good guy. So I just had to bring that up.
He's a good guy.
Do you have standards, Joe, about where you will and won't eat?
Shut up.
I'm just curious. Like, are there places in parts of Nome where you're like, you know what? That's where I draw the line here, people. I got stuff I bought pretty cheap today from the King Coupon or the Coupon King or
King,
the guy on the bike.
Actually, King Coupon sounds better. He sounds like a Mario villain.
Yeah, because poor guy got his bike stolen. I remember he came over to my house one time. He came in.
Did he say you some bad, chicken gizzards? And you're like, I'll show that son of a bitch.
No, this is what I felt bad. It just shows how quickly something could have got stolen in the neighborhood where I was at. He put his bike right there on the stoop. He came inside for 45 seconds, and then he heard somebody saying, "Hey, let that go!" Ran outside. Somebody took off with his bike. The neighbors seen it getting stolen, didn't say nothing. But in 45 seconds, his 10 speed was taken just like that. But,
Joe.
It's like a beach cruiser. It's like
Write a book, please. Write a book, and it'll get adapted in a movie. It'll do gangbusters. You can play yourself. You get nominated for an Oscar. It's gonna be
Joe
amazing.
showing up at Barnes and Noble doing book signings, getting pictures with the kids with the mask on, handing out complimentary masks to the kids, and handing out in like a little basket instead of suckers and lollipops. He's got raw chicken meat and gizzards in there. All soiled in that famous hot sauce.
Well, no, King Coupon is standing beside of him handing it out.
Well, like I said, I would eat.
Doing a photo of King Coupon and Joe Mud if you pay the VIP at Barnes and Noble.
Well, I did. I just wanted to clarify though. I wasn't eating rotten food. I wouldn't do that. But well, let me transition because I don't even know why the hell I talked about that. But I'm gonna transition.
Do you like?
How did we even get on that subject? Anyway, like we went from Funko being an awesome company and doing all this to
eating out of a dumpster from King Coupon.
Well, I'm gonna get it back to.
And Joe says it so proudly, All
right, well,
I got the deal.
I do. There is one thing I did want to bring up real quick before Joe transitions because we're talking about Funko and how good of a company they are. And when I was scrolling through Facebook, I saw a thing that Super 7 is. They're kind of running a deal through Monday where if you order more than $20, if you enter in a code, you get 10% off. I think if you spend more than $50, it's 20% off. And I decided to click on the comments because there were a lot of comments in there, and a portion of it was people posting pictures of the shipments that they got in, like the wave that came out that had Hordak, She-Ra, Hordak, She-Ra, Skeletor, and He-Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where the guy was like, this came in like a mailer bag. And then there's some where it's like just the bottom is just like completely busted out. So I want to pose a question in the chat. You guys can go ahead and like start to answer with this. But any orders that you have placed with Super 7, have you guys had similar issues? Have there ever been any troubles? Like
Only
stuff
things I ever ordered, to be honest, it was when they did the Curse of the Three Terrors, when there was the glow in the dark ones that are up here above me. Those are the only Super 7 figures that I've ordered were those vintage ones, and they came fine. But I mean, I've heard things from mailers, and I've seen some double left leg Skeletors, a lot of broken legs. But I know Super 7, they do right by people. If you have a screwed up order and you let them know, they're going to fix it. But quality control issues, it's unfortunate, but it happens with a lot of companies. Even speaking of Funko, which I love Funko and their 5.5-inch. They've had issues. When we showed our Thundercat figures, all of ours, thank goodness, knock on wood, were in good condition. A lot of people are having broken leg issues, and some are even having it with even their DC Primal Age. But again, Funko does right by everybody, and if you have a screw up, you contact them, they'll take care of it. But I mean, I don't know about Tyler, but I didn't, thank goodness, have any issues with the limited stuff that I've bought so far because I haven't got any of the new stuff money-wise,
Well, I also saw a picture, too, where someone got a holiday He-Man, and you know how it comes in these boxes, and they just basically just slapped, like, a shipping sticker on this. And I'm like...
Really? No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, like some people actually want, like... all of this intact and not just like a big, huge shipping sticker on it. So I was just kind of curious. I saw all that and I'm just like, man, that kind of sucks because it was a handful of people. It was a good 7-8 people through there. And like probably out of, I don't know, 25, 30 comments. I'm like, that's a high percentage.
The one I felt bad for was there was a couple of the Midnight card collectors. I'm in a group that's called 5.5, and it's all about 5.5-inch figures on Facebook. You guys can look them up. It's a great group. But they do anything from vintage to modern 5.5-inch figures. And somebody did get the 4 sets of He-Man, She-Ra, Skeletor, and Hordak. And the box was so tight that when they took out the carded figures, every one of the corners were all crushed and bent. And this was somebody that wanted min on card figures. I was like, oh, damn, I felt bad for them. I mean, like I said, they'll replace them, but it does suck when it happens. But I didn't hear anything about what you said, just taking the box you shown and put a sticker on it. I mean, I hope that's not happening there, but I'd be curious as people what they say in the chat room, but I really hope that didn't happen.
Yeah, Tyler, you ordered, you got me that Hordak from that line.
It's on the way, and
now, did you got it from Super 7, correct? Or is it?
I ordered it through Super 7. Should be here any day now, though. But
because I honestly, I hope that comes in intact. Because honestly, I kind of wanted to keep that in the packaging.
I figured you would, and that was a birthday gift for Nathan. So I will be quite pissed off if that shows up as anything less.
Which let's think about this. My birthday is in July. It
Yeah.
is December. Those were shipping out what, September?
We were told
they were supposed
September. But yeah, but several months later, it's just kind of one of those things that we don't know what goes on with those guys. We don't know the ins and outs behind the scenes, and I know it's just part of the flack that Brian and his crew get all the time because all the fans can't go down to their headquarters and actually watch how things are done and ran and all the snafus and stuff. It is frustrating. Everyone's entitled to be pissed off and upset when you're paying good money for things that just show up unintact, beat up, or look like someone pulled it out of a dumpster. Right, Joe?
Yeah, just to let you know.
I like how he tried to really refrain. He did the thing that like he did earlier in Retro. He's like,
like but I just want to say, Steph Curry said, whenever I try to order something from them, I just get trash and gizzards. Kind of weird. Anyone else have this problem? I wonder if Steph might know me with my gizzards that I eat. But Omega said I haven't had any issues with Super 7 at all around. Fedmon said I haven't had much issues outside of a little paint slop here and there, not enough for me to send it back.
Well, that's good.
Or demand a refund. So I mean, it's good to hear that some people are not having issues, and
it could have been a thing too where a lot of people were just like waiting for like any kind of because that's what the internet is now. People will just be like, yeah, oh no, that, and I'm just so. I imagine that the vast majority of the packages that leave from their place get in the hands, they're in perfect condition. But I just thought I would bring it up because I thought it would be an interesting, like, if anyone else was having troubles, if you guys ever had troubles, like, is it a persistent thing? Is the quality control kind of lackluster? But Funko,
like you said, it's bound to kind of happen with almost any company. Sometimes a trial and error, and hopefully they learn from it or try to do different things to, right the wrongs that they, did and maybe weren't intentionally, obviously, doing. It's like Loyal Subjects. I remember when those first came out and I got that variant Chase Pink Tila. I was like, wow, the first figure I ever bought is a Chase. And I took her out of the package. Her leg was snapped and broke off where that peg was stuck into the one spot. And I was like, oh, I didn't have any other pegs. So I sent it back to them. They sent back a new Pink Tila for me, which is kind of cool because I had to wait for them to send me this variant. But it sucks. It's unfortunate. But also, just to transition really quickly with what I was going to say, this week, if you guys go to Hot Topic, almost all of them should be getting the new wave of Masters of the Universe Loyal Subjects figures, finally. So you can get your Battle Armor He-Man and Battle Armor Skeletor, but then you're going to get Merman, Orko, Ram Man. I don't know if Stinkor will be ready.
Isn't Mechanic in the group too?
Mechanic, I think, is one of the chases. I believe he's a chase. So there's a good amount. Oh, and Fisto, the Sorceress. So they have a lot of cool ones coming out. Oh, and King Grandor. Also, they're going to be window boxed. So you're not going to wonder, what the heck am I getting? You're going to see what you want. So hopefully you could just go in there and get every figure you want if they're all available that day.
I might be more inclined to pick of course it's still like $15, but
but still, at least if you know what you're getting, then
because I'd like to have a Mechanic or a Fisto and a Stinkor myself, honestly. But
and at least you're getting a chase, because I guess Mechanic is the chase. So if you see
why would you make him the chase though? Why would you make one of the actual individual characters a chase figure? I just don't understand.
I couldn't tell you. But the good thing and the bad thing about this is now you wonder how many people hypothetically that work there that have friends of friends. Right when they open the case, they know it's a chase, and they'll probably just let their friend have it.
Are you kidding? The staff at Hot Topic doesn't know squat about anything He-Man. They just know this is old, but it ain't like Power Rangers and Pokemon.
Well, the one thing
I feel like the Hot Topic employees, all they know is, hey, just to let you know, today our shirts are buy one get one half off. It's been that way for like 3 years.
Now we give you a free guitar pick if you buy 3 shirts.
Yeah. Hey, do you want to donate to the thing? I'm like, no.
Oh, and Wonder, they're having a Wonder.
Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to donate?
Yeah, you want a magazine subscription? No, I just give me my game and let me go. The GameStop sucks. I'm just
all right. Oh, just real quick, Wondar and Zodak also. They have them in Wondar as a chase. The bizarre thing about Zodak that I don't understand, he's gonna have purple armor. I'm like, huh? I don't get the purple armor. Like, what?
Well, it gives you an opportunity to have some custom fodder there, Joe. People don't want a pink Zodak or purple Zodak. You can customize it for them.
I just didn't get the armor thing, but I'll tell you what, the one thing they will know, whether they collect or not, if they see the gold colored chase of anything, you know that's the super one of that's it. There's only one of them. So if they hopefully that one is blind because this is what they've done with some of the other figures, like the horror line that they released. They were all window boxed, but one or two would sometimes have a tinted window box. Now this does not guarantee a chase. You might open it up and damn, it'll still be a normal figure, but you might get a chase. I'm hoping that if when they have the gold Orko, hopefully he's window boxed where it's tinted, because if anybody sees it, he's gone in a second.
So Joe, are you just like calling your local Hot Topic like every day, like, hey, did you get those in? Hey,
you know, that's the one place that holds stuff for me. There's a couple females that work there that are pretty.
Yeah. Joe and I have had some discussions about this before, I believe.
Yeah, they'll hold. They hold them for me. Let's just say that, and it's pretty.
I wonder
cool.
why, Joe. They know what's under that mask, don't they?
You're like, hey, you know what Joe looks like? Go to the Hot Topic in this city where he lives, and you'll find out just like that. But
hey, man, parts unknown. Ultimate Warrior could have told us, but he is sadly no longer here.
And that is a shame. But yeah, the loyal subjects, I'm definitely looking forward to the Orko because I'm very curious to see its exact scale, because the sculpt on it surprisingly looked really, really good, and even looked a little filmation like compared more to the classics one, which is fantastic. But heck, if you're going to get this for like 12 to $15 and you don't have to pay that 40 to 80 or whatever he costs on eBay, you get yourself a cool looking Orko. It actually looks pretty cool. So I'm actually looking forward to what that Orko looks like.
Well, speaking of your customs, because Tyler brought it up, do you want to go ahead and share the progress on the one? Because you shared it early on Retro, but I think these guys would probably like to see the progress on that as well.
Hold on a second.
Got put on his new shawl.
Oh yeah, sorry, we can't see his jawline. We can't do that on this show.
God, man.
Hold on. Oh, damn, I almost lost my mask. Shit. Hold on. Uh-oh. That would have been a pisser.
See?
I dropped the cup.
I tried.
Okay. Well, I have... Okay. Anyways,
He's flustered now.
Yeah, I am flustered. It's like I usually don't do this, but I did want to show the progress on this. For this Predator, the vintage He-Man style one, I'm sculpting all his outfit here, his arm here, he'll have his gauntlets. I did his legs, got a crotch piece here, but I did all the sculpting here. The head, which is cool, is magnetic. So you don't ever have to worry about it breaking. Like, bam, look, it's right back on just like that.
I think that's a cool concept anyway. I think more toy companies should start to, especially with
NECA.
I still have not tried with that Pennywise.
Got some damn brakes. I hate that. You're right.
Everything they make is breakable. Like they gave you all these options. You really are just going to shatter the peg.
It's like here's 3 heads, and you have to like do a seance and like put your foot in a tub full of mashed potatoes and spin around in a circle 5 times.
I tell you what, I was angered with one NECA figure I had that did break. Oh, first I want to say thank you, because Zen Brown City really liked that Ambrosia web store I made for a customer, and I appreciate that. Thanks a lot, man. I had a blast working on that sucker. And hello, Kyle Kendall. I seen you just joined us.
Man, we got one hell of a turnout tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of people and there's a lot of conversation going on. I apologize if I haven't got to everything there, but I'm trying. You know me, Joe's the quick talker, and I try as quickly as I can to do stuff. But my RoboCop had that problem. It's the only one that broke. He was on his shelf with all the other movie maniacs. And I'm talking about, the day where they had the movie maniacs.
Yeah.
And one day he decided to do his tip right off the shelf. And when he went off, his leg popped off and just broke.
Joe, my RoboCop actually did the exact same thing.
And broke his leg?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was like, all right, so I guess my options are I just need to like glue it and make sure he's set in a position where I know he's going to stand. But heartbreaking, because if you go on eBay and look up prices for some of these guys, you're just like, I can't do that now.
No.
Like I got him for $20 and now he's like way more than that. I'm like, I can't. So
I don't know the prices of any of those. I've had every movie maniac from when they first came out, back in the day. I got them for whatever their cost was. I'd hate to know their price.
I think they were like 10 or 12 bucks back
Joe,
then, I think.
Tyler, why didn't I do this before? Tyler and I went to some antique malls last weekend. I'm going to try to like swing that around so Joe can't really see it.
And yeah, I broke Robo's Entron. I did break Robo, and it heartbreaking. But go ahead, Nathan.
Tyler and I went to antique malls last weekend. There's a couple of them kind of in close vicinity to one another, and we found a lot of cool stuff. Probably more Tyler than myself because he was just like, man, like rents do this. I can't do this. But anyway, we're walking through, and I see this. I see the back. This is what I see, and I'm like, all right, who's on the front of this? And lo and behold, I'm like, I already own this figure, but to have it just in the package.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Here's the thing, Nathan, I don't want to spook you out, but I have my Jason open, but isn't it weird? Look, because I got mine sealed too.
Oh, hey, Joe.
I think Nathan was hoping to be like to have something, you know.
No, I wouldn't hope to have one up on him. I don't care if I have one up on Joe. All that matters is I have one up on you, man.
Just to ask you a question.
Corrected.
On your side where it has Jason right there, is there blood splatter?
Yes.
Okay, good, because that's the variant. There's one where it's normal, no blood, but if you look on his pants and his body, there's blood splatter all over.
So, yeah, I remember that being variants of that back.
Now
back
I'm actually going to have to check the ones on the shelf because, oddly enough, the one that I do own that is loose, I actually bought from Tyler's brother. He was getting rid of his movie maniacs. I'm like, I'll buy them off of you.
The store movie maniacs, the ones that were at the store, not blood. The ones that you're holding, I'm holding, these were ordered directly from Spawn from McFarlane Toys, and they were blood variants. They had it for Freddy, and they had it for Leatherface, too. So, just a weird little side.
I want to say that the one that is on the shelf loose does have blood on it, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Max Works, or Karsten, that is the first Jason, that NECA made. That's when they were starting the movie Maniacs, where they had Leatherface and Jason.
I missed that. I missed that these things were so accessible. You could go into a game store or a Spencer's or wherever, and they were there. It's like, all right, now you have Target, which is an option. That's great. But most of the times when Tyler and I have gone, like it's sort of hit and miss. Like some weeks fully stocked of these, and then you go the next week, nothing. It's
I
like
don't know, every time I've gone with him, I go there. Oh God, I'm like poor and I can't afford any of all this awesome stuff. And Nathan's like, I can.
It's nothing for Nathan. He's got that rich money, so he can get whatever he wants.
God.
But thanks for sharing that with us, Nathan. That is cool. And yep, I have the same damn thing. Now,
that's cool.
All right. Well, I was going to say, Tyler, I didn't know which category you want to move into next, and I don't know if Nathan was going to be hanging around or we'll hassle him later.
I'll go ahead and bounce. I just wanted to hang for the opening segment. So
thanks for being here for the opening segment. And next week when we do a mini comic, you can be for the whole.
No, that'll be cool.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for joining us, Nathan.
Yeah.
I'll send you a text in a bit, Nathan.
All righty.
Gone. Thank God. Okay. Oh, what's up, Tyler?
Joe, why you gotta do that, man? I'm still right here every time. Hey, do you want to go ahead and just throw out the? Oh yeah, he really sucks at Turtles in Time. By the way,
I wouldn't do that. Even though if you guys do go look for Beyond Retro and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time gameplay, you'll see Nathan where he live streamed it. And it's,
you know what? I'm just gonna start blackmailing you with those voice messages that you left me.
I didn't say nothing bad. Hey,
no, are you kidding? The cult power that guy's got, they're probably thinking, well, you probably deserve it, Nathan.
The Italian voice came out. I heard it. The mob voice was out. I heard it.
I won't do that voice.
It's like you picture Joe on the other side, like holding.
That's what it sounded. Yeah, that was the visual I had in my head.
You could hear his hands doing this, as he's chomping on a frozen burrito. Like it was so threatening and malicious, and just the malice in his voice.
That was sold to him by the Coupon King.
There you go.
All right, you guys have a good rest of the show. I'll see you later.
Oh man, I tell you,
Tyler,
I want to throw it to the fans real quick before we jump into the Star Marvel comic discussion. The people in the chat room, what is it you guys enjoy on the podcast? Do you enjoy commentaries? Do you enjoy the mini comic reviews, comic book reviews, character bios? Do you enjoy me and Joe harassing each other? Do you enjoy Nathan and me harassing Joe? We just are curious to know what you guys enjoy on the podcast. Doesn't have to be your most favorite thing, but things you do like. It's like an informal survey. So we'll just put that out to everybody in the chat room.
Yeah, if you could right now, if you wanted, you can give us your answers right here. We'll read them off. The reason being is because Tyler and I, we cover everything from stuff from the past, the present, what we'd like to see in the future. We do things from the comics to the cartoon to the toys. And we've had interviews with a lot of, the people that worked on the property, from the cartoon to the toys to the movie. And just, we never really know fans are hungry for. Like sometimes there's an episode, man, it's got a ton of views. Others have a little less or downloads. And, because sometimes Tyler, I think, man, this one, I think a lot of people enjoy. It's like, but then they might not. So we're just curious. Like I said, we're still always going to cover everything like we always do from every type of era and any type of, thing from, like, again, the comics to cartoons. But we're just curious. So, well, right now, let's see. Zentron said,
I wanted to pop in for it too. Just, like genuinely, I am curious. But so far, Joe was getting into like everything. That's what they're saying. Everything.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not changing the format, but we would like to know if there's a common denominator with people who listen to this podcast. Do they tune in for current event news? Do they tune in for just toy talk? Do they tune in for, mini comic reviews? We just have not. Like I think 2 years ago, me and Joe decided to do a discussion on the Rock Warriors, and we thought, man, God, no one is going to want to listen to the Rock Warriors because just kind of feel like everyone's like, oh. And it was a very well received episode.
One of the biggest ones at its time. It shocked us
right now. Then we did the one with Blade. Anthony DeLon just got all this feedback about letting everyone know, hey, he's going to be on live, and it was just like, God, man, did people not really be that interested in hearing what Anthony had to say about playing Blade?
Yeah, it's like you don't really know. Like Zentron said all of it. Zen Brown said the Fellowship. Yeah, I respect that. Max Works said everything. Fedmon said everything. Zentron said plus catching Tyler out or catching with his movie quotes because he's always trying to get you.
Because he's always using like Police Academy 6 and the Eric the Viking and
he's doing one of my movies.
Like no one ever watches that.
He'll do a movie like I like Thanksgiving or Axum. You're like, what? But
Joe. Yeah, hey, about that Thanksgiving, by the way.
Oh yeah, we'll get back to that. Zen Brown said, he said the Fellowship. Kyle Kendall said, love reviews on vintage toys, hearing stories of how you guys got them, how you played with them, what you wish they'd done differently, etc. And I like that too. That's another thing we can even talk more about Kyle. So Kyle Kendall said that. Fedmon said plus loves Beyond Retro and Capes and Commentary.
Thank you.
It
really it means a lot because it's Fans of Power is that's like, to me it's massive. Like you guys do gangbusters every week, and it's cool to see some of that starting to trickle over to the other two.
Because the other podcasts are great as well. You guys, if you haven't heard them, find them as well. I'm sure Nathan can link them to Capes and Commentary and Beyond Retro if you ever wanted to subscribe.
Links in the description below. Go ahead and feel free to give that a subscribe. I also want to throw out too, if anyone's catching this on the archive, feel free to comment down below and let us know what you like. What you want to see more of. What if there's something that you don't like? If it's like, oh well, when you guys do that, it's like, I'm kind of less inclined to tune in. Like. Yeah. Let them know what you like.
You don't have, if there's things you don't like, let us know that too. We don't, we're not.
I'm glad you said that, Tyler. I'm glad you said that the way you said it. If there is things you don't like, definitely let us know because we're always open to criticism. When you can give honest criticism, yes, we would try to learn, see what we could build upon with that. It's like anybody should be open to criticism because when you are trying to be giving an actual opinion without being negative or nasty, you should welcome it. But if somebody's nasty, of course you can be pissed off. Like if people say, oh, you guys just suck and F off or whatever, then of course that's not helping anything. But I just wanted to put that out there. Anybody that works on something or does something, always be open to criticism, especially if it's honest, clean, good criticism without being nasty. Because if you just dismiss anybody from what they say just to say, oh, you don't agree with me and you guys suck, then, oh, I don't like it. It's like, then you don't know how to grow and work and do anything. So yes, tell us if there's something you don't like. But I also wanted to get back to a couple more things that some people said. Max Work said, you are three sympathetic guys with lots of stories to tell. I enjoy it when you tell from your past and what goes on, with your life. Also, there's some infos I didn't know, and I learned from you. Well, I appreciate it, and that's the thing. We learn from you guys, too, as well. We definitely don't ever think we know everything. I know we don't. It's just, except Tyler. So Tyler knows it all.
I mean,
speak for yourself there.
I mean, to be fair, every week that Joe and I are on here, we're on limited oxygen because Tyler takes up most of it with his huge-ass ego.
He's got one hell of an ego. He does.
Yeah.
I have to be open to criticism, and if those guys feel that that is the case each week, then they're entitled to believe that kind of
you could just look at it
and hogwash.
But you're gonna tell them to shove it up their ass and go to hell, right?
Nathan,
No.
What was that, Joe?
He can look at his wall of ego next to him. Every commission he's ever had done, he's the hero. He's He-Man. He's
yeah. We can talk about that. Kevin, I wish you were in the chat right now. And if you're linking around and you're watching this episode now, please feel free to come into the chat and explain. I just the process. Does Tyler just hit you up and he's like, you know what? I want everyone in this photo to like look like me.
Wait to see the next comic that Karsten's doing for him. Tyler's going to be in every damn little panel of every character.
No, I will say that the stuff I've done with Karsten, I'm not featured in it. Just my name is responsible for it. Everything you see in those mini comics, that's my idea. Karsten just puts it together. But Axel and Kevin's work, yes, my face is in every one of these action adventure stories. I got two right here. I have yet to put in frames. I got more right here, more in the bedroom.
Speaking of like Tyler, dude, I'm honestly surprised that in your living room, beside your movie collection, there is not just a naked painting of you or something. Like I just.
Hey, I have
holding a Masters
myself
of the
naked
Universe
every single day.
You picture that? How some people read some great, ancient literature. He's holding like a mini comic, like you said, just glowing with the sun in back of him, just nude, looking at that. That's
you know what? Between his ego and like your cult of Amato, it's like, what do I have?
Well, what you have is something that you have to prove.
Wait, no, I forgot. I got money.
Well, you do have money.
Yeah, Nathan's the $1 million man of this podcast.
No, Tyler jokes, but really, it's not like that. Febmon,
he's the most generous $1 million man you'll ever know.
Febmon wants you to prove if Emily is real. That's what Febmon wants to see.
If it will please everyone, I'll mute the microphone, turn the camera on, and I will actually bring her in here.
Do it.
I might as well. 43 minutes, and you guys haven't even gotten to the topic.
Holy hell, we've been going that long. We didn't even talked about the first subject.
Well, I mean, Tyler, you're not going anywhere because it snowed like 15 inches today, and Tyler and I are not going anywhere tomorrow. Yes, Joe?
Well, no, I dug myself out, so I'm hoping I can make it to work.
You won't.
I just got a text from my boss's boss saying that, hey, if I can't make it out, don't worry about it. So
then that is your cue to just not going to work.
Yeah, but I have to use a vacation day if I go into work, and
but you still get paid for it.
But I lose a day of vacation, when
why Nathan wants to hit mute. The reason Nathan wants to hit mute is earlier in the day he said he was going to have his sister come on over, and they were just going to wrap up presents and gifts for some of the family. So that's why.
Shut up, Joe.
Hey sis, could you act like you're my girlfriend? Maybe just come in here. But go ahead, bring your girlfriend into the.
Oh, Joe. All right.
No, this is girl. Go ahead. Let's see if she's real.
I hope she looks like really angry, pissed off, and sleepy, all in the same.
I bet she cusses like I ain't going in that room.
Well, that's
probably all we hear. We hear like, "Don't you throw that face!" And we hear like this crash, and Nathan walks back in.
Pizza again?
Yes, she's sleepy.
All right, hang on.
Here we go. This ought to be. Yeah, Grimbot said it's gonna be Nathan doing a girly voice without seeing Emily.
He puts on like a mop over his head and pretends to be a girl.
He pulls a psycho on us, and he's putting the mop. We only see her from the back. Hi guys, this is Emily, but you don't see Nathan. And she goes, "See guys, she's real." I guarantee right now, Tyler, she's not wanting to come on. That's probably she's like, I'm not
probably
going.
Not.
She's not going to pop up.
I'm sure she probably will come on, but it's not something she's like, oh, do I have to? She's going to make that face that she's so famous for.
Yes, and just to think, yes, we'll get into our discussion of the Monstroid comic.
And maybe at some point here.
At some point, but hell, we got, like I said, we talked about some of the interesting matches. Oh, wait, here we go.
He's already laughing.
Okay,
you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
All right, Febmon, this is for you bastard, for talking all this junk for like months and months, or it seems that way anyway.
He's wearing a wig and he's gonna be talking. And
it's totally me. I'm a ventriloquist, Joe.
Go ahead, let's see.
Boom! There you go.
She's real.
She's real. Hey.
What's going on, Emily? You don't look sleepy or pissed off.
He says you don't look sleepy or pissed off. Here, You know what?
Yeah,
here.
There it is. There it is.
Do the show. You hang out with these guys. See you next time.
See, Emily, you can be a part of the show here. We got horses on the podcast. It's all encompassing here.
I'm not gonna do that. Did you flip them off?
And Emily, we do discuss at times.
Did she flip me off? I missed it.
But hold on, Emily.
No, I have the Switch controller in my hand.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
okay.
playing Pokemon.
Well, that's the thing. We discuss video games at times as well, and we know how Nathan's really bad at games and how you really are good and how you destroyed him in that Mario Party. So I wanted to compliment and commend you on that too.
Well, thank you. Finally,
he
some
really-
recognition.
Yeah, I mean, has he always been that bad with video games? Honestly, because he's pretty terrible.
Always.
I knew it. See, so there we go.
I can't hear you guys over there. So
Great. Yeah, see, he can't defend himself, but there. Well, Emily, it was great for you to join us for that quick segment. I guess you can get Nathan back because we don't want to talk about him too badly. But
that they want to draw you. You seem fun.
So, is there anything closing you want to say before you get off and let the loser back on? I mean, or hand him back his headset?
Just that, that is definitely his My Little Pony in the background.
I knew she was going to bring that
serious?
up. Yeah.
Knew it. Thank you, Emily.
Joe,
Emily, you approved it. We knew it was his all along. So.
Joe, I'm going to send you all the rotten meat in the world.
Oh God.
He just puts it on my desk because,
I knew it. See,
scapegoat.
so everybody, she is real. And remember, she's the one that's the best. Nathan's the worst, but now you all know that. So again, thank you for joining us, Emily.
Anytime, I guess, maybe.
It's good to see you, Emily.
All right,
She didn't say anything to me. She completely snubbed me. Maybe it was like the horse remark.
Oh, wait,
Smart
they're still
ass.
going. I thought that was the way of get the hell out of here. We got to talk about the rest of the show.
Yeah, Nathan did get owned. Zen Brown was asking in the chat room, said Nathan got owned in Mario Party. Yes, he actually did. Emily beat the piss out of him. So that was not a joke. She did. So there you go. Nathan knows nothing what's going on right now. He's always just going to relish hearing this later. But Nathan is a very piss poor player if I've ever seen one. So there you go.
You got that right. Pass that around.
We will. Definitely.
No,
so, all right.
Joe now. What is going on, Joe? What are you doing?
Oh no! What happened was we were complimenting you on your great video game play and how you did well in our, Mario Party. So we were saying.
Oh, that okay. And meanwhile, Tyler's like, "Can we just start talking about everything, please?"
Oh no, I think it's great that Emily finally made an appearance. I could see her just kind of wiggle her way in, like she comes kicking. I made cookies, Nathan.
Actually, she did make cookies today. chocolate chip, man, they're delicious.
I may have to venture across town in the snow to get me some, fresh hot chocolate chip cookies before going to bed tonight. Dan.
All right.
Yeah.
Good luck walking across the bridge and everything. Yeah. And
enjoy. You'll have to hear what we said later. I hope you enjoy that because it was all positive stuff. Because we love you, Nathan. Right here, man. It's always right.
Oh yeah, Joe. Yeah, Joe.
All right, we'll go have some cookies, man. We might call you back later. So
yeah, all right.
Talk to you later, buddy.
Right.
Yeah, we'll have to have Emily back on more often. Just have her, just be like that female element on the podcast there.
Do you want to be on the podcast more?
All the time.
See?
Every day.
Look at that.
She never shuts up. I mean, that's why we got to have her back.
All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show.
All right. See you guys.
See you guys.
Oh, shoot. Well, there. You guys all found out, I guess she is real. But, Tyler, I'll pass it to you now, and you can start giving some of your thoughts of Monstroid. Because it was a comic that wasn't super epic. It had weird moments.
And it could have been, because it's one of those things where I've always been kind of very intrigued. And this is a book that features characters that are just not used that much, like Monstroid, Extendar, and Multibot are featured so prominently in this. It's definitely an 86 roster of characters comic book. But the idea of Monstroid being something like a machine that was created and dwells in the depths of the city of Rakash, like it's kind of one of those things where you feel like, machine living underwater, like it's a leviathan, so to speak. It's like the Kraken, this massive beast that emerges from the ocean to do Hordak's bidding. That's a machine. I just feel like it's such an interesting idea that has never really been used much. I mean, you see in that beautiful Earl Norm poster, monsters emerging from the ocean, and they're duking it out on the shore. That's something I would love to have seen explored a lot more. And of course, when you see the commercial for the Monstroid, figure and stuff, it's clearly like a land creature. But I always found that to be quite interesting. And of course, and you see in this that Hordak and the Horde, kind of join hands to kind of, it's I didn't really like that. I kind of feel like that's
awkward because I was like, it made it seem like
I just don't want to see the Horde holding hands. It's just, even though it's like a demonic seance kind of thing. It's just one of
because
those
I
things
felt like they were trying to at one point say like all of their powers and energies to use it, but I was like, but some of them I don't feel like would have the vibe.
Grizzler
to
doesn't
do
have
that.
powers. Leech, I mean, they
Right,
don't
it's
have like the strengths that Hordak does. Hordak should be the only one that does something like that. It made sense, like the logic how Skeletor gets involved. Like he could sense the
disturbance
energy.
parts basically.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But then you see like the panel, he's like leaving out of the jaws of Castle Grayskull. I'm like, how does that happen again here? Like he's leaving
They
Castle.
always do that, which is so weird, confusing. It's like the artist. I honestly can't remember who did the art for that one, but it looks like there was a lot of reference material that person was using because even Skeletor, when he's sitting in his throne with that bone throne, that one pose,
it looked a lot like the Wonder Bread pictures.
Exactly like that card. I mean, it's exactly like that card. And the thing with Extender, I like that they kind of acknowledged, like they were giving a throwback to him knowing and remember what Hordak did to him to experiment on him. But he's still learning and I guess can extend even more. And Orko was supposed to do some kind of repairs of his wiring using his magic to make it to where it works better. And Orko's been slacking and he's instead, I guess, he's not even tending to the fish in the aquarium. I guess they're showing the irresponsibleness from Orko. And then maybe that's what led to a lot of this crap going on. And if Orko did his job right, then maybe Extendar wouldn't have needed help at the end. And one little fun thing I noticed, if you noticed when Orko was playing Solitaire, the cards he has is a He-Man card, he has a Skeletor card, a Power Sword, and then a moon and a sun. If you look closely, I was like, oh, that was a fun little nod or something, like he's playing with cards of, people in their universe. But I wanted so much more of Extendar. It seemed like it was more of him in his extending compared to strength, even though at one point he shoots energy out of his hand, which
it's another thing. They just
love that
we're doing that way
blast.
too much in a lot of these books, giving the heroes and villains to us at some point, or in certain situations, like it's almost like they're taking liberties but not doing it deliberately, almost as if like they just kind of feel like they're not given they're probably not given a whole lot to work with in terms of like, this is what this character can do. This, because when you read any kind of comic book from DC or Marvel, you'd like to think that the author and artists that are working on these books are well aware of what these characters can and cannot do. So when you see stuff like this, you see Beastman firing blasts out of his hands, or Extendar doing that, you feel like, are they not given much time or much references to play around with that? Because they get Hordak right, they get He-Man right, they get Skeletor right, and certain other characters they'll get right. But when you see stuff like that, you kind of feel like, what were you guys thinking? Like, I know it's Star Marvel, they're writing books for a much younger generation at the time, but still, if you can get the basic nuts and bolts of these stories correct, why is it they take liberties like that and have someone who clearly can't do that and is not advertised to do something like that?
I admit, when I seen Multibot, because Modulot created Multibot in his image, and later when you seen him, like blow up, explode like into a bunch of more parts, and it's like he multiplying his parts, and when he entrapped Extendar with just tons of legs, I remember certain images, it looked creepy to me, like he almost looked like a giant cockroach. Something was bizarre about it. And I'll admit, I was like, I kind of enjoyed the weirdness of that Multibot, but even with that, you still really didn't get much. Like that's how they had to basically stop Monstroid towards the end. Monstroid opened up his mouth like he was going to swallow He-Man and Skeletor, but suddenly Multibot is the one that got swallowed. And I guess they had to do their little fun, like, oh, we got indigestion, like he went back to the bottom of the sea. But I like almost the characters, how they portrayed He-Man and Skeletor. They always wanted to show, even within all the silliness, still the pure evilness and good of He-Man. Because Skeletor is saying basically he could breathe underwater. He doesn't even have to worry about this. He was like, I could break myself free from Monstroid at any point, but I won't do that because it also break He-Man free. And he said, I'd rather die not breaking free if He-Man's going to die with him. But then you see He-Man talk, basically saying, if I can wiggle to get my sword, I can free me and Skeletor. It's like He-Man's still showing his goodness no matter what. You know, Skeletor is still a living being. He's here to protect and, you know, protect anybody. And even his enemy, he's still going to want to save. So I like that they still brought that little element into that Skeletor doesn't care. He was willing to die if it was going to mean He-Man's going to die. But He-Man was going to save everybody no matter what. So I like that they still did something like that. You know, even with the goofiness of this comic, because it did have a lot of goofy parts.
Yeah,
still love that.
It's definitely, it leaves a lot to be. It's by no means like a horrible comic book. Like, you know, even by today's standards, it beats the hell out of anything DC has done with He-Man. And that's not me trying to be malicious. You still feel like you can have fun with the Star Marvel comics, regardless of what they get wrong. Whereas the DC guys, they just don't know. I mean, their head from the hole, you know, hole in their ass, or head from hole in the ground, whatever the hell. Point is, they don't know what they're doing. You know?
I like that.
And,
whatever the hell, yeah.
Yeah, it's just fun to see Monstroid used prominently, Multibot used prominently, Extendar used prominently, and the throwback to the Warrior Machine mini comic, you know, with Hordak, you know, and didn't they do it in the UK annuals too?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. I like that continuity of like that's something that was passed along, and that's one of those things too. I would love to know that the guys who write this stuff for the Star Marvel stuff, what references and guides are they given? You know, because you know, as far as we know, we just got that mini comic, the UK annual. Are they given references? Like, I can't remember if in the style guide, is there like the bio for Extendar, like this guy, this heroic warrior was created by Hordak. You know, is to be a member of the Horde and then turns on Hordak and join. You know, it's one of those things like, what are they given to? Because there's several panels dedicated to referencing Extendar's past and his connection to Hordak.
And also, even like I said, even when we're talking about reference material, I mean, it's obvious you know where that Skeletor drawing came from. But one, I want to pass to you because I know you're a bigger fan that's read many more comics of, like, you know, with Marvel characters than I have. There's a particular pose Hordak is doing in one scene that I get this Wolverine vibe or something from. It's very distinct, and I didn't know if you might know what I'm talking about or if you'd have to look at the comic, but he's in this kind of pose, and it almost looks like Wolverine in this weird stance, but it's not. It's Hordak in the stance. And I was wondering, are they copying that from even other... I don't know. It's just me with my mind.
And they might have. I mean, I could see the artists, you know, who are working on the time, they are an extension of Marvel. So I could see them pulling references from, you know, because Wolverine was very popular in the 80s as well, too. It's kind of when he got his stride was in the 80s. So I could see that. I don't know which pose you're talking about.
Damn it. Wait a second. Hold on. I do have it with me. Let me get to that pose, because I know right when I show you, you might have an immediate thought, or you might just say, Joe, you're overthinking this too much, because when has Joe ever overthunk anything? See, I don't even think that's a word, overthunk. I make up stuff too.
Well, that's what you do. You customize everything.
All right, I'm going to put my finger by it, and I'll just keep talking. Right here, this one where my finger's at, this pose looks pretty distinct with Hordak.
I don't think that doesn't look familiar to me.
Nothing? Dang it.
Nah.
I was hoping you would have got something out of it. I felt like I was... Damn, I hate when I can't think of something. I feel like I've seen that superhero pose.
Well, I'm not to say that pose has not been used in any Marvel or DC book ever. I'm just saying it doesn't look like it was a reference to Wolverine or another Marvel or DC character. I mean, but it very well could have been. So your theory could be correct.
All right. You know what else? Like, a quick little side note. I always like this too when they would have these little things advertising the NBC cartoon lineups of, like,
I always got a kick out of seeing those too in those books. Yeah,
it's
but most of those are cartoons that I'm like, I know Gummy Bears, I know Alvin the Chipmunks, I know the Smurfs, I know the Punky Brewster cartoon, but those others, like, what the hell were those cartoons?
Well, Kid Video, I remember that. I don't remember Foo Fur. I don't remember that. Even in the Chipmunks, I remember that. Disney's Gummy Bears, of course. Remember Gummy Bears. Mm-hmm. Smurfs, Punky Brewsters, and I don't remember Kissy Fur. That's weird. One called Foo Fur, the other Kissy Fur. I don't remember them shows.
I don't either.
Oh, like
one of my favorite ones is it's in the front of the book. It's the Flintstones, like Fruity Pebbles. Pebbles. But my favorite one was not featured. My favorite one is the one where Barney is in a canoe and going through like a swamp, And you
Yeah.
see Quicksand and a snake, and Fred's at the bottom eating Fruity Pebbles. That was always my absolute favorite comic book advertisement of all time. I just love that Fruity Pebbles ad.
You know what? I got to bring up one more thing. This one thing looks familiar. This thing that Spider-Man's fighting in this Captain Crunch thing. I can always remember that little thing.
Yeah. There was a smog, or I think there were smog monsters because they were used a lot in.
He's the Sog monster because he's
like soggy cereal.
Yeah, you don't want to get soggy cereal.
Yeah, because I remember in the Captain Crunch they used to have like little glow in the dark soggy monsters you could get, and I think I had 2 of them.
That's it. Yeah. Now I do remember, but yeah. So this, like I said, it's still a fun comic.
It's fine. It's just I guess it's one of those things too, because a lot of these books they're trying to balance so many characters and so many, of course, when it was made, so many toys.
Yeah.
You know, you got Monstroid, Multibot, and Extendar, and the entire Horde, and Skeletor, and He-Man, and Orko. So you got a lot of characters you're trying to force into the story, and really Monstroid, I kind of felt like it's something that should have been a Horde Monstroid, maybe one Horde member, and you got to have. I like the idea of Skeletor coming in and He-Man coming in, essentially maybe having to team up to stop Monstroid.
Yeah, because I mean, I just love the damn Monstroid, vehicle.
It's a great creature, and I just like the idea that it's a machine. It makes me think of Red Sonja, but like the killing machine that's in Red Sonja. It's a machine that's underwater in a fantasy film, and that's what I kind of think of. Like, I know people don't like Red Sonja, but I think you're out of your mind if you don't like it. But I just kind of think it works in that way because it's sci-fi fantasy, a machine that's lays dormant underwater, and Horak is aware of it and decides to raise it up from the ocean to do his bidding. That's a fascinating concept, and I'd like to see more done with it.
That's the Monstroid I wish we could have seen in the cartoon, because I always loved.
I'll never understand, and I know James is posting like fun facts about the Christmas special right now.
Oh, I can't stand those Monstroids. I mean, they just look
so
like some of the
lazy and insipid.
They're cheap. It's like, oh, watch, it's like a ripoff of a Transformers, but the quickest transformation, like one thing just bends over. It's like, oh wow, that was mind blowing. They're the worst. That to me, I mean, I know James hates the Manchines. I know a lot of people hate them little kids. I hate the Monstroids, and that's like, God, those were the just worst things I've ever seen. I just didn't enjoy them at all.
I really wish I had seen more of it as a kid, because I don't like the Monstroids at all. I don't care for the Manchines. The kids, I could take them or leave them, but I think it would have excited me tremendously as a kid to see all these characters crossing over and to see all the cameos, because I was all about seeing Snout Spout so much. But it's even though it's only like a 45-minute feature, it's not the most easiest thing to watch. I mean, it's something where liberties are taken all over the place in that feature.
Could you just picture if at some point our Monstroid would have been hypothetically in the cartoon? Could you picture him if he would have?
Yeah, because when I watched it for the first time, when they said Monstroids, I'm like, we're going to get to see Monstroid, and then you're like, what the hell is this?
Got what we wanted. Like, if he would have grabbed He-Man and Skeletor and just started spinning like crazy and threw him, it's like, oh man, that would have been so awesome to see. And then maybe while they're trying, you'd see He-Man trying to actually, let's say, hit the button, to stop, just like the toy. You hit the button, then it stops.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised that wasn't featured in this at all. Because it's featured so prominently on the box. I got sitting over here on the bottom over here, and I like that. Like, it's played up as like this mistake that Horak wasn't aware of on the Monstroid creature, that that's the mechanism that destroys it.
Yeah,
it's such a fascinating idea and concept.
Fail-safe, right? Every creation has to have that fail-safe button that just stop it. So would have been good. Oh, who dat well? Thank you for joining us. He said he's late, but hey, it's good seeing you right now. But and also no, I didn't see any Laser Tag Force. I just was answering to a question. Didn't see any Laser Tag Force advertisement in that comic. It maybe was some of the others, but don't remember that one. But yeah, if you guys have not read this comic, like I said, go ahead and find it on eBay somewhere. You can read it on the org. You can still see it. It's a fun one, but we had to get some respect, because anytime I could get something for Monstroid when you don't see it, the real Monstroid, might as well discuss it. Good or bad, interesting or fantastic or not interesting, what the hell. Can still discuss it.
Well, yeah, and it's hard to find a weak link in the original lineup of He-Man. I mean, really, like we don't say this to say it was better back then. It's just the quality was there. There are some good ideas that have come along over the years, from New Adventures to NYP, we're not open to or not closed-minded about news stuff, but can't help it. They got it right the first time in the 80s, and for people to feel like that it was just didn't have that same magic as the line goes along, I almost feel like you don't quite get it, so to speak. Almost as if like
Dr. Evil, you just don't get it, do you, Scott?
I wouldn't have used that, but
he's like, oh no,
I'm not going to quote that. But
and also, Kevin Sharp, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Kev, for showing up, bud. Appreciate it.
Bud. Better late than never. Hey, no problem, man. You're here, so that's cool. And
by the way, people
Delvis.
in the chat room, Kevin doesn't know I'm doing this. If people want a beautiful commission of He-Man or Thundercats, G.I. Joe, Batman, Marvel, Kevin's the guy. He's taking commission offers right now. So if you're interested in getting some original artwork, hit him up in the chat room or check him out on Facebook, man. He will gladly draw if you want to see He-Man fighting Lion-O.
If you want yourself drawn as every character,
yeah. If you want yourself drawn,
yeah,
as Captain America, you can have that done and have yourself team up with part of the Marvel universe.
Sweet Jesus. It goes back to earlier, guys, the egomaniac. But hey, I wanted to say something to Delvis.
Hey, I can't help it if Mark Bagley said I look like Captain America.
Delvis78 wanted to mention, or was asking one thing. He was serious, and I'll let you know, Delvis. Delvis is saying the Manchines, what are those? Well, the Manchines in the He-Man She-Ra Christmas special were the little robot creatures. Like, first, the cute little relay, but then there was the other one like Zipper and all those other little, shits. Yeah, those are the Manchines, and that's the one where I mocked. The one sounds like Bill Cosby on Zipper. Well, never mind.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he does. He had a Zipper sound. I mean, a Bill Cosby sound to him. So yeah, but I never tried to ignore that question, Delvis. I just must have missed it because, like I said, I know a lot of comments go on while we're talking. But okay, well, that was that. Now we're going to talk about. We wanted to go back to a character we discussed a long time ago, but really probably didn't get as in depth as we always do or would like to do, and that's Trapjaw. Character from the toy to his mini comic to his cartoon appearance, his MYP, the Icons of Evil, origin for that. We could discuss a lot of different things about Trapjaw, but of course, my first thought of him obviously was when I got the toy. And I just love the damn gimmick of taking any kind of string, attaching from one point to another, having him zipping right down. His mini comic origin of being some kind of just a prisoner or a bad guy from another world. To obviously see how he came here. Loved how he was trying to be controlled by Skeletor and how he had the power of Grayskull within him. Because Skeletor, remember, wanted to get into Grayskull. He tries to do a spell, but of course, then that spell didn't work like he wanted because it brought Trapjaw in. But I do like his origin in the mini comic probably the most of anything.
Yeah.
It's just he's so damn evil looking, and even though he does look amazingly just awesome in MYP, I do like the different kind of designs, how he's not taking off the attachments. Now they kind of like zoom come in and out. He looks freaking awesome. And then you had his the Icons of Evil, where he's still Cronus. He's had enough of Skeletor, or as Skeletor, he's not really respecting him. He respected him more when he was Keldor. But now that he's Skeletor, he's not really respecting him. Skeletor doesn't respect him back. I think he kicks him out. Cronus wants to start his own army to come back and basically overtake Skeletor and show him who's the badass. But of course, as he comes and he has this epic fight with Skeletor, I think used his Havoc staff, maybe. I can't remember if it was the staff or what magic, to basically burn Cronus's face to where it became green. He melted off his arm. He uppercut
and breaks his jaw with his bare fist, man. So that's a badass.
And it was. So it showed you guys finally how did he lose his jaw, at least in the MYP/2000X MVC stories. Skeletor then uppercut him and just busted his jaw off. And with one arm gone, jaw off, and one arm still left, when Skeletor picks him up, you see Cronus reaching out to Skeletor, and Skeletor thinks he's basically begging for mercy, which then Skeletor, basically gives him mercy, but then he's turned into Trapjaw. Evil Lyn is almost like, I can't believe you beg for mercy. And Trapjaw now, as Trapjaw is saying, no, I was reaching to try to choke him. He was going for Skeletor's throat, so I like that. No, he wasn't giving in. He wasn't begging for mercy. Even with dying and everything falling apart, he's still trying to choke at Skeletor like, I want this sucker. So that was a cool origin, too.
It really was, and I think it was unanimously, thought of as, the best of those Icons of Evil. And it was just because they really took a lot of care in making the Cronus/Trapjaw character come off as a very, very competent and Well, I mean, a leader, a guy that unites all these tribes and factions on the Dark Hemisphere to launch an assault on Snake Mountain to usurp Skeletor. I think that certainly makes him a lot more of a dominant figure in general, like someone who clearly is capable of working on his own, who's very smart, malicious, calculating, and it's unfortunate we don't see that used a whole lot with the character. Now, based on what you want to do with the characters, writers from Filmation to MYP to comics, they decide how they want to interpret these characters. So, I mean, any character that you may not like currently, anybody in the chat room, anybody listening to this, if a writer can come along and make any character you don't like a lot more likable. Because the Filmation Trapjaw was used kind of as a buffoon, not all the time, but just depending who was playing around with them. You know, like Robbie London, you know, gave him the opportunity to eat Eternium. Now he becomes as strong as He-Man, is tossing He-Man around. You know, or in Diamond or Disappearance, he gets a very prominent, you know, role in that, or House Chakotay Part 1. But for the most part, he's used as just the, you know, someone that gets smacked around by He-Man, and, you know, it's kind of like a lackey. You know, it's just, I love these characters so much, and I just always hate seeing them being portrayed as just buffoons, just oafs.
And that's I mean, as we've seen, that started happening later and later within the Filmation cartoon, which I never liked the oaf stuff. And then when we came to NYP, they weren't really oafs, but then the characters that we really thought, oh my God, this is somebody that looks really freaking awesome. And like you said, a badass like Clawful, and then he talked like that. I'm like, oh
God.
Why did you take a character that was one of the most serious, sinister characters in Filmation, who wasn't buffoon, you know, like always turned into a buffoon and Skeletor really respected? You turn him into a buffoon, and he looks so imposing in MYP. It's like, you guys missed the boat on Clawful. Clawful with that look should have not talked like that.
Well, just the look alone would have told you, like, you know, and I know Dean Stefan had said that they felt they needed to make some of Skeletor's warriors, you know, oafs. But I hate that, you know, and I kind of felt like at times, like, Trapjaw came off as kind of idiotic at times. Not completely, but you just kind of felt like his mentality was not as intelligent as I felt that he should have been. And really, I don't see any of Skeletor's crew being morons. I really don't. Like, if you had anybody, like Beastman has been given a lot of great moments, but NYP, he was not portrayed as the most intelligent, and
he got disrespected a lot too, especially like, remember when the Cordite was brought and then they wiped it off on his fur, just kind of like disrespected him.
I mean, I don't mind like little sight gags like that, but I just kind of feel
even still, it's like, it's kind of showing, I don't even respect you enough as a person. Like, here, I'm wiping this on you. It's almost like it reminds me of, you know, people in general in real life. You know, somebody would like sit there and wipe the nose and then would wipe it on one of their buddies, the one that they figured, hey, this guy won't do nothing to me. That's what I almost got from that little vibe, that little thing, which, yes, it's a little sight gag and to be funny, but it's also, I don't think anything of you to do that. But yeah, he doesn't really get as much respect, in which he should. A character that can control all them creatures is somebody that could be vicious if he wants to, and bite and rip you limb from limb. It's like, that's a character I don't think I would want to be, you know, messing around with.
No, that's someone I feel like that, you know, Skeletor would want to respect all of them. I mean, Merman, who controls the sea, Beastman, who controls the land, any animal that walks on land, he can control or fly or whatever. Those are two very prominent powers you have at your disposal.
Yeah.
I mean, Beastman is just one bad day away from launching a full-out assault of various serpents and creatures that
underground
eat you
creatures.
alive.
Remember when
underground creatures, which used in NYP? I'm like, what's to prevent Beastman from stopping and just destroying, leveling Snake Mountain? Like, Skeletor can only do so much when you've got every creature on Eternia attacking Snake Mountain that could fly.
And it shows the way he can multitask as he's fighting, because as he's fighting, he's still using his mind powers to control and summon these creatures that come from underground. He can do multiple things. That's, I mean, he's fighting you and also mentally thinking of what creature he's going to bring. So he could still be in communication with these creatures from, you know, many far distances, or in different, like you said, whether it's air, underground, or land. it's like, yeah, Beastman. Talk about another character we should revisit sometime. It should be Beastman. But
Yeah, I think Beastman, and I know we did Merman about a year or so ago, but yeah, we definitely need to revisit Beastman, Triclops. I mean, the whole original gang in general. But and I like to see a Trapjaw, Wizard of Weapons, reference to Diamond Red Disappearance. I always like to think of like Trapjaw as being the weapon specialist, the guy who's in the lab coming up with new weapons, not just for himself, but for Skeletor's crew, the guy that would help create a lot of the vehicles. Like I could see Trapjaw being the guy who came up with the Roton, who came up with the Land Shark. You know, it just felt like a guy that creates weapons for himself has to be pretty good with technology. You know, I've never liked the idea of Triclops being the lab specialist. Like Triclops is the bounty hunter. He's the mercenary, the guy.
especially after his mini comic, that's all I.
Why? Yeah. Why would you want to depict him anything else? And really, you don't have to have Trapjaw in the lab. But I just kind of feel like a guy that specializes in upgrading his arsenal all the time. You know, I like to think Skeletor maybe has like ideas, blueprints, and comes up with ideas of what he wants to see done. And obviously, like he created the Collector on his own. I'm sure he probably had help from other Evil Warriors. But I'd like to think that Trapjaw helps contribute to Skeletor's arsenal. You know, whereas we see Spikor as the blacksmith.
I love the blacksmith.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Comic. Oh
yeah,
God! And he looks so spooky compared to the oafish appearance of Spikor in the cartoon. But you compare that to the mini comics, it's night and day. It's like, why would you go from that to that? But yeah, I think he would have been way too frightening in the cartoon if you brought in mini comic Spikor. I love the damn blacksmith aspect, and also I did want to say in that Icons of Evil, the art. I always feel bad that I could never pronounce Carlo's last name, the artist who did that Icons of Evil.
Yes.
I mean, I love the art, but I was like, man, I can never say his last name. I was like, I don't know if you've ever said it out loud. If you can.
No. I mean, and that was the one that I liked the most. Like the artwork in the Beastman comic was pretty good, but the Triclops and Merman was probably the worst of all of them. And I didn't think Triclops was that good. I didn't like the artwork. I didn't care for the story. But Beastman's was okay just because I liked the artwork. Overall, it wasn't a very that Trapjaw was. I think everybody would agree. I'm sure. I know people like the Triclops, like he's blind. Maybe they like the Beastman, but that Trapjaw mini comic of using the idea of Cronus, which I'm fine with that, but I still like the idea that Trapjaw is a character from another dimension that escaped.
I like that they expanded upon it because remember in the MYP cartoon, we seen Cronus, in the first cartoon, and we've seen him in the past as how he was, and then of course when it's fast forwarded years later over there in the Dark Hemisphere, now you see Trapjaw, and you always wonder, well, how do you go from that to that? We never seen it, but at least they delivered it in this. So I was like, I like that they gave their version, and it was even clever how they wrote Trapjaw and had like the jaw underneath the lettering of Trapjaw. It was a clever way of doing it. So yeah, again, and if you guys haven't owned or if you haven't read that Icons of Evil Trapjaw, you can read that on the org too. Yeah. And I'm sure if you wanted a physical copy, you could probably find it.
It's well worth your time to seek that. I mean, read it for free on He-Man.org. It's well worth every second of your time to read that one because that's definitely one of the best, if not the best, Trapjaw stories, along with the mini comic and Filmation. I love his time in House of Chakotay, Diamond Red Disappearance, Double-Edged Sword. Trying to think of some other good prominent appearances. Like Father Like Daughter is pretty good in that.
When are we going to get the pirate Trapjaw? We can get that variant. How about that?
Oh, man, don't give Super 7 ideas when
they
release another variant.
Ideas.
Good grief.
Yeah, he was a pirate, and he had his beard, and man, you couldn't tell it was Trapjaw.
I love how Prince Adam just approaches him and starts talking to him like he's one of the crew. I'm like, oh, man, come on.
Well, I guess,
but then again, too, if everyone's talking to,
Prince Adam, it looks like He-Man. It's like, hey, I can see where it's coming from now. Exactly. You're not trash.
I just kind of wish I think they were just going for laughs where you just kind of feel like with kids as the audience, you have to just suspend the disbelief about any of that stuff. You can't really think in those terms. That's why you can't read a Superman comic if you don't want to believe the idea that people see Clark Kent and they don't see Superman.
Yeah, and it's just like we know with the cartoons is a quick way of drawing. We understood that, and like you said,
that's why I hate when people try to be cute and funny about all that stuff and start trying to make fun of it and poke holes in it as if like they're so witty and intelligent for pointing out
it's just getting caught up, like you said, in the moment. And I'll bring up an example. I remember this double take. There was this one girl. that my sister knew. One of her friends that was around the neighborhood was always at my sister's house. And she's hot. I mean, she's hot, and she always wore glasses. And even with glasses, I didn't ever think, oh, good, glasses ugly. It's like, no, she was hot. Well, about 2 months later, one time when I went over to my sister's, this girl was sitting there without her glasses on. She got contacts, and she did a little eye makeup. I remember I was saying hi to my sister, a couple of friends. I said, hey, and I just said hey to this girl that I didn't know nothing about, and I walked past. And when I went in the other room, it was like a movie. I actually shook my head. I was like, what the hell was that Leanne? And I went back in the front room and looked, like, Leanne? And she's like, yeah. I was like, wow. I mean, I was shocked, like, huh? So it can show that sometimes you take off them glasses and you do a different little style or something, you can look different. Wow, that was a shocker. It's like, God, how can somebody who was so beautiful even look even more beautiful? Again, not saying.
Now, Joe, do you ever think about doing that for yourself?
Me? What was? Yeah, I should forget. Let's get rid of the Modulok mask and let's put on a pair of glasses. You'll never know me, and then one day I'll take off.
Wow, Joe, I never knew you'd be such a handsome dude.
Right, but yeah, so it can really happen in real life because that just, whoo, she blew me away. I mean, with or without the glasses, hot. But
were you like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber? Like when you walk out of the room, you're like, grab your heart, and you're like,
yeah, exactly.
And then fantasizing about lifting up her skirt and looking at her ass, and then while you're hugging her.
With the doves flying like that, and she looks exactly. Yeah. Oh, that was, oh man. So yeah, what a moment. Yeah, I am revealing too much tonight, Fedmon. Sorry about that. Buying food from dumpsters.
Well, you're a man of mystery. The people have spoken. They want to know more about their cult leader. They want to know what you do when you're not wearing the mask.
And Dubba said, I've sworn like 12 times now. I am sorry, but I ain't using real bad language. It just, sometimes it'll come out, but it's, oh yeah, we're not going to sit there and curse and be nasty and derogatory. Just a couple little expressions.
Well, we are grown adults here. Yeah. Adults use choice words here and there, but we're not out to just be, Def Comedy Jam or
no. I'm not
or something like that.
Yes.
Def Comedy. Did I really just date myself by referencing Def Comedy Jam? Is that even a thing anymore? I have no idea.
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I don't think there is Def Comedy Jam anymore. I mean,
man, I just I really like grandpa'd myself by referencing something that was popular in the 90s.
No, it was good. But now, I was going to say, before we wrap it up, now we'll just pass it to you guys in the chat room. You've been active so much anyways, but yeah, Fedmon said if Joe ever takes off the mask, the FBI will burst through the door, guns blazing. He keeps saying that's why I'm wearing a mask, was the FBI. But if you guys have any questions you want to ask us about anything from the cartoons, the comics, the toys, what you'd like to see in the future, any other hypotheticals, pop them right here in the chat room, because now I'm going to pass it to Tyler if he has anything, if he has any recommendations, while you guys might pop in some questions. So I'll pass it to you, Tyler.
I'm going to plug the hell out of Kevin Sharp's artwork. Because I love his stuff. He just did that Captain America commission for me. He does wonderful work. He loves He-Man. He loves Thundercats. He just does the. You know what? He just does amazing work on all this stuff. Anything you want done, the guy can make it happen. If you want to have Marvel and DC characters fighting each other and stuff like that, I don't know. I said a lot, but the guy does amazing work. So
yeah, if you want to have Tyler's face on everything, then
if you guys want to have like your own version of me as He-Man or Captain America or John Matrix fighting the forces of Cobra, you can have that done. But let me know so that way I can send Kevin to kind of like, if you need me like looking a certain way.
Kevin, we talked about this on Facebook. I threw it out there to you. Someone else brought this up in the chat. It'll be hilarious. Let's have Tyler in a tank top looking like Vin Diesel, and then like his partner in crime can be like Paul Walker, but instead of Paul Walker, it'll be Chris Pratt and be a Fast and the Furious vibe.
God,
Kevin, if you do that, any amount of money. You know what? I will completely. I will deplete my bank account. You can have it all. You can have it all, Kevin. Just do that, so I can frame it, and I will hang it on anywhere on these walls, anywhere, just so Tyler has to see it on every single episode that we do going forward.
But knowing that Nathan will pay good money to have a picture of my face in his room just says, you know what?
Yeah,
people have spoken that, there is high demand for this visage.
Oh boy.
Kevin Sharp showed up. He is in the chat.
Yep. See, Nathan, you inadvertently just made Tyler's ego grow more and more.
I know.
gonna
How
be
does
like a
that
bad-
work? Like, that's stupid, right? Like, it shouldn't work that way. How did that just backfire and blow up in my face?
Right. It'll be like
yeah,
one of those.
you and David both. I'll just have to remember that because David's the guy that said he'd be willing to spend like $300 to buy me a Vin Diesel action figure just so he could see me be pissed off about it. I'm like, you're willing to spend that kind of money on something like that? Then I'm joke's on you, buddy.
Yes. Well, thanks for that, Nathan, for jumping in. But hang around just in case there'll be some more stuff coming. Now I'm going to hit a couple questions here. Zentron said, "What do you think Eternity would be like if He-Man and the heroic warriors and the evil warriors and Skeletor, etc., were the heroes? Like if they were flip-flopped." Now, of course, I know with the Anti-Eternia story and the German audio plays, they I think went and expanded upon that. But didn't one of the MVC comics do something where they brought some beings from another dimension where they were evil, the heroes were evil, or something like that? Or am I wrong?
There was that was the planned storyline where He-Man was what was going to be Faker.
Okay.
And that because in the second story that Val and Emiliano did, that there's this dimensional portal that gets opened up. Man-at-Arms goes through it, but then he comes back through, and it's Man-at-Arms like out of his mind. It's like we have to destroy He-Man.
Yeah.
And he's seeing Faker. He's talking about Faker. Like Faker has taken over. He's a tyrant. He's evil. But it's like He-Man.
It wasn't the Graham Cracker exclusive cover had Faker.
Yeah, the Graham Cracker exclusive comic. Had Faker, and it was there was a Faker version of Buzz-Off, Tila, I think Battle Cat.
Well, when you guys say Graham Cracker exclusive, like what?
Graham Cracker Comics, which was a comic book store, an online comic book store.
Okay.
Yeah, they did exclusive covers with them. A lot of different exclusive covers when people were wanting to buy. They might have had the comic, but there might have been 4 different variant covers. And some people, like lunatics back in the day, like me, when I had money, I was buying up all the variant covers. So
and some of you could get in the comic book store because that's what me and my brother got them. But like Graham
some
Cracker
you had to order
that one, and they also did a nod to Meteor Monsters, the Earl Norman cover. Like Emiliano did Cobra Khan. Commanding like a giant snake attacking He-Man in 2000X style. That was an awesome looking cover because that's a great looking comic book cover or book cover anyway.
Okay, like because when you guys say that, I'm like, oh man, they were like exclusive comics that like Honey made, Graham Crackers. Like that's just where my mind.
I know that's what and it makes sense because that's what I thought when I heard about it. Like Graham Cracker, like graham crackers, like Nabisco graham crackers, sugar on them.
I remember the same thing when I was ordering, same thing. But thank you for that question. Now, JSP, the question you're bringing up, you bet it's something I was wanting to do towards the end, but since you're already asking the question, I'm going to say it. JSP said, "Are you guys going to purchase Mark Taylor's portfolio? He was selling it at PowerCon, and he's still selling it online while supplies last." Now, I want to let you guys know, you can contact Rebecca Taylor on Facebook. Go to Facebook. You find Rebecca Taylor. She's the wife of Mark Taylor. She'll give you all the information on how to order these. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 12 big 11 by 17, really high glossy, thick, material. It's good stock. It's not like you're just going to get a piece of paper. 12 just gigantic prints. All the prints all together, I think, is $40 total. And that's pretty damn good when there's some people that sometimes will sell a smaller print for maybe $20 for a small print. You're getting 12 high quality, a lot of his amazing art of what, he showed a lot of his concepts in the past and other stuff. That's a great deal to get 12 of them for $40. So just look for Rebecca Taylor on Facebook, and through there you can contact her. And if there's still any left, you can order because it's well worth it. It's a great purchase.
And she's a sweetheart of a lady, man. It's like, God, she's so nice. Her and Mark both, man. I really hope there's going to be an update on his book that him and Rebecca and Axel has helped contribute on. Like, I hope there's going to be an update on that book at some point.
Yes, and I even messaged her a couple days ago about that. She said she would try to give me some more info because we'd like to have her back on, and along with Mark, discussing the book.
Yes.
Anything new coming. So she's all open for coming back on the show. So we'll have them back, and that'll be great just to pick the brain of Mark Taylor again and Rebecca and hear what's
coming. And if you guys, I encourage people to check out the interview we did with them last year. Yeah.
That was one of the most in-depth interviews I've ever heard with them, and I know I'm not just saying, because we didn't know.
Well, that's so what I take great pride in. It's like if we're going to have somebody on here, I want to ask questions that nobody ever stops to think and ask.
And we hit them with so many questions, and they gave us so much information. It was just, God, was it a blast. It was, again, it's like how we sit here and talk with you. It was just like talking with family. Damn, they're They're just amazing, amazing people, and it was a great interview, and you could search that up on YouTube in the archives, and yeah, you definitely have to watch it. So thank you for that for JSP. Now this one is from Who Dat Whale, which I'm gonna relish probably passing this one to Tyler. Who Dat Whale said, Team He-Man versus Team DC, 5 versus 5. What's your teams? Because I know you just like usually lose your mind when these kind of things come up, but go ahead, 5 and 5. Go on, Tyler.
And then Nathan's like, "What are you doing here?"
No, all right, like why? Who thought that it was a good idea to cross those over to begin with?
I don't know.
Honestly,
know.
To me, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't and I guess clearly that it didn't come across that well because it has been sort of mostly poorly received. But just why? Like mix Masters with something else, not DC characters. You guys talk about all the time. It needs to be more of a sci-fi barbaric. Like Transformers would have been a cool one. That would have been neat. But what? Why DC though? What is the driving force behind that?
I think since DC is doing the comics, obviously it's now their chance to cross over with stuff that they've already had. So it's an easy one. It's the same thing. I'm sure if Marvel was putting out Masters of the Universe comics, I'm sure there'd be a crossover.
That would work even less.
Yeah, because then Star-Lord would come in and wipe everybody out.
And, telling a bunch of dick and fart jokes and Skeletor. Oh man, I'm so cool. I'm so bad.
Why did you do Nathan?
Just like dancing back and forth.
I had to. You talked earlier about like the poking the bear thing on Retro, and I was
all right, but I will answer his question there.
Yeah.
But Team He-Man is going to beat the hell out of DC because that's just the way it's going to be.
Well, all right. Let's back up a second because on Capes and Commentaries we did Injustice for All Part 2 plug there, and you alluded to the fact that Batman sort of knows how to get to everyone. So if he is involved with this crossover, like you would think that Batman would kind of have the upper edge on everybody, right? Because he would have researched everyone. He would know all of this already, so he would kind of be a step ahead.
I would not. I don't find it plausible that Batman would have done research on Mossman, Cyclone, He-Man, Clamp Champ, Fisto, Man-at-Arms.
Why not?
Because I just don't see like him having records of anybody's back history, their weaknesses, from his sources and technology on Earth. These guys are thrown in the mix on another galaxy, another dimension. I don't see Batman having access to He-Man's, history. Like what is He-Man's
I feel
weakness?
like they would write it in a way that he would find a way to do it because that's how it usually works. So
But at times though, Batman does realize, look, and this I will bring this up too. In the episode Mad Love, I did this on Capes and Commentaries where Batman comes out and says publicly to the Joker, I got to say, Harley had me beat. If I was not able to convince her that she needed to bring you here, she would have fed me to piranhas and I would have been dead. Like the blood would have been rushing to my head. And I wouldn't have survived. Like Batman is aware of there's sometimes he can't get out of the situation physically, and he has to rely on his wits. And if it didn't work, he's dead. But I just don't see, it makes sense for Batman to have access and records of all the villains. And ideas and thoughts, for everybody in the DC universe. But with this, I kind of feel like he would not. He would strictly have to rely on wits, and that's it. Like he could not.
It is kind of lame how they write him because it is almost to an extent. It's like he's never shocked or surprised by anything that comes of it. It's like they always write it like he's always one step ahead, and it's like, but is he though?
That's why I like the character of Bane. When Bane shows up at Wayne Manor and ready to beats the hell out of Bruce Wayne when he's coming out of the Batcave and breaks him over his back, you need to have moments like that because you need to see the heroes be in a vulnerable spot. Because you know what? After a while, it gets kind of tiresome when they just keep kicking everybody's ass and they're not given any kind of real peril.
I kind of parallel that with wrestling. It's the same
Yeah.
way. Like if you write your baby face to just be like completely, he's just beating everybody. Then what's the point? Like
Yeah.
he
It all
needs to,
depends
he
on
needs
the
to be
character.
put in a place where it's like he's got to chase a little bit, or there's got to be some spot where like you really genuinely believe that this might be it. This might be the thing, and yeah.
We'll do a fun 5-on-5 real quick, Tyler.
All
'cause
right, but I
this
will
one
say,
could go
in
on.
my tag, I would definitely make sure to have pit Batman versus Clamp Champ, because I like the idea of Clamp Champ, who's not only physically strong and imposing, but has enhanced senses taken on Batman, who is a ninja. So
All right, there's a matchup.
one matchup we get He-Man and Superman, of course,
Okay.
for strength, combat. Moss Man and Swamp Thing.
Okay.
So you got 3. Cyclone and probably Martian Manhunter. I guess you could say. Well, no, I'm not going to go with Red Tornado. I guess you know what, Cyclone and Red Tornado.
Yeah, no, that seems like the
Makes more sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
And then so that's 4, and then I'm probably going to have to go with. Let's see, I've got Superman, Swamp Thing, Batman, Red Tornado, and then I'll throw in, because I like to get very specific with this stuff.
Throwing a beefcake, man. Beefcake.
I'm not throwing in a beefcake or a red rooster for you. Hang on a second. Let me.
I got to look at my shelf. The names, they're just not coming to me. I thought.
No, I'm just trying to. It helps if you get a visual of who you want to see.
Put Zodak and the Green Lantern, and we can move on.
No.
Let's just.
Next.
Who that will just made a question that lasted 20 minutes.
Extend arm Plastic Man.
All right, cool. All right, thank you, Who That Will. Not that I was trying to get past it, but I was like,
oh, because it wasn't about Joe, and Joe was like, "Oh, I don't know who these people are."
Well,
I can't
it's like, you know what, we can't spend 10 minutes answering
we
the question.
Plenty of time with Joe,
but we can spend plenty of time with the Coupon King and buying shit from the dumpster. Sorry, Joe, I'm gonna ruin your cussing thing. Everyone else in the chat's already it's like he's already cursed like 10 times already. Like, it's pointless.
Well, Joe feels better as a cult leader by trying to pretend like he's living under the guise that he does no wrong, and that if he does, he's like, oh, but it was only because of talking about this, or it was only because of, I fought it and I was embarrassed. So
can we all take a second to pray to the altar of Amato? Tyler, go into it like you did in Capes and Commentaries.
Yeah, spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. Praise the rotten Amato. Let us praise El Monterey for the finest frozen burritos, and let us drink lots of Kool-Aid, preferably something that was found in the dumpster 30 years ago, like Purple Source, the Great Blue Dini, unopened packets. And if they are, it's all right. We'll still make money off of it. Thank you. Praise the rotten Amato.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that. Now I'm going to go to.
That probably made no sense because I just made up all that on the fly.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
Well, I was going to say, Delva78 says, do you think they focused more on the science fiction aspect of He-Man or the fantasy aspect of the show? It seems like, they tried to do
We're talking about Filmation or MYP or what?
He didn't he said aspect of the show. I don't know if he did mean Filmation or MYP, but either way, I know that we did see a lot of, obviously, science fiction and technology and stuff, but you see still a lot of magic and stuff. I think it was a good balance.
I think so, too.
Yeah, it was just a good balance, but I do like that question, Delva78, and thank you for that. Omegator says, do you guys know the chronological order of the Evil Warriors joining Skeletor? And again, depending on comics, cartoons, however they showed introductions of characters, it was always different. So depending on, I guess, which one
I would really base it on the years they were released, because each year they focus on the characters that were being sold, and I think it's kind of your best way, like, to say that Cobra Khan, Webstore, Jitsu, and Clawful joined the faction in '84.
Yeah,
so
all different,
like not in the year 1984 in He-Man's timeline, but Skeletor's original group was Beastman, Trapjaw, Triclops, Evil Ant, and Merman. And as the years go, as time goes on, he expands and gets Too Bad, Spike-Or, Stink-Or. That's kind of how I look at it. Like I can't really picture like Cobra Khan and Webstore being some of the original Evil Warriors. Like I just kind of feel like look at it in that regard.
Okay, but again, and thank you for that question. Appreciate that, Omegator.
Is that your way of kind of like, okay, whatever, Tyler? I don't agree with you, but thanks for that question. Can we just wrap it up so I can get back to talking about my customs and about that one time that I got tricked drinking Tang?
Dang. Joe, did you show enough of your custom Predator for everybody?
I showed that. Like I said, I
Okay.
did that upon request because I didn't want to whore myself out, but I did, and I appreciate you guys.
Joe.
Let me take this off.
Yeah, you fans need to spend your money on the whore over here.
That's right. Yeah, that's what people would call me on Facebook. I've been called a lot of great things, but okay, Zentron.
Well, they're all wrong, Joe. You are you're.
He's a high dollar escort. He's not a whore.
He's a decent man. He's a school teacher.
Yeah.
There's your quote for the week.
Well, here's my quote from Zentron. Just came up. He said, "Look, I've tried everything already. The only thing it could be is the solenoid. If we only had a screwdriver." Oh, I do know that, Zentron. I know what you're trying to do. You're not going to stump me. That's what Tommy said in Friday the 13th, the final chapter. That's when they were trying to jump.
That's the only way that. You know what? I'll give Joe credit. He was actually on top of a few of these the last few weeks.
No, he wasn't. He didn't know last week's, and he didn't know the previous 3 weeks.
No, that's on.
He didn't know the Roadhouse quote. You didn't know it either.
Yeah, that's true. You should have known that.
Hey, you're gonna tell me I suck at Turtles in Time too?
No, I have no problem with that. I say I'm not a prick like Joe.
You want to play Ken Griffey on Super Nintendo again?
Give me the Braves, man. I will destroy you right now. Tonight's the night, man.
Hey, all right. He's talking a lot of stuff, but we played it, and I was drunk, by the way. I was getting toasty.
Yeah, and believe me, I hit a home run immediately, and Nathan starts freaking out immediately. First thing.
I was like, oh, here we go. It's finally gonna happen. And then you know what happened? He lost.
Oh, okay.
And each time I started scoring runs, he was sitting right beside me. I'm just like smacking his big old arm. I'm like, ha ha ha.
And meanwhile, he's like, Emily, can you put some ibuprofen or some cream on my knuckles? I broke them, like smacking Tyler's shoulder in there.
I'm gonna pass to the next question.
Well, because I saw it in the corner, it's like, ow.
I'm trying to scroll
down.
down.
My hands are not that fragile, sir. My hands are not that fragile.
No, I'm just that hard.
Adam Gabbert had a question.
Only you are going to take it in that direction there.
I don't know. The chat will probably start blowing up with dinger things.
Yeah, hard dingers.
Hey, before we get to our dingers, let's go to Adam Gabbert. Adam Gabbert said,
"Stay away from my dinger, Joe."
Said, Joe and Tyler, my question is about Mr. Bardia's Gwildor. When he blew his nose with his hand and out came water from his head, I know it's not from his ears, but what blew out the water? Gills. Okay, there you go. So there you go, Adam. Bam. Tyler's right there. You know anything that's going to come to the 87 movie.
Yeah, he's a Thenorian. He's got gills. Yeah. It's the quote is like, it's easier to say when you don't have claw gill slits, and then yeah, it's gills.
Okay. A Megator. Oh, see, here I'm still asking the questions. These questions, if you notice, these are the ones I avoid not because I don't want to answer it here. These are questions that
questions that make Joe look bad. So
no,
if you have anything like that,
when they're in groups, I've seen. No, I've actually,
Joe, did you ever buy anything from a dumpster?
Shut up. When these are groups, man, I tell you, people lose their minds more than anything because they take it way too serious when it's just trying to be an honest fun. Well, people take this like you're talking about their family, and people shouldn't do that because Omegator is just asking She-Ra versus Wonder Woman. That's all he's wanting to know. What do you think would win?
She-Ra.
There you go. All right.
Now, wait a second here. You went into the whole spiel of now look, don't take
because
this what like God, you built that up as if like
because I thought you might have gave it in-depth.
Megator's gonna be like, all right,
how you did earlier, where you did that in-depth explanation. I was like, oh, if Tyler does that, and then Nathan comes, and then they start in the chat room, people are going to start arguing with each other. I was like, please don't let them argue. So good.
For God's sake,
wait, like who arguing? Like the chat?
No, not you. Sometimes, man, I've seen people.
We're on the He-Man podcast. If they're here to defend DC, they're on the wrong podcast here.
So, but thank you for Megator. Let me see.
I think you know what? I think it would be like kind of even, but I would probably give the edge to She-Ra, honestly, because all right, yeah, you know what? Wonder Woman can fly and she's got her lasso and everything, but I kind of feel like one good punch would probably like end it. Potentially.
Well, this is one I want to answer. I'm actually going to have fun with it from my favorite blockhead. It said Masters of the Universe versus Street Fighter, 5 versus 5. Okay, we got to have well, for Street Fighter side, you always got to have Ken and Ryu. You got to have them together. I love my Ken and Ryu. Got to put in Blanca. Blanco was one of my favorites to use. I loved using E Honda, and I loved using Dalsim.
I could see Joe using E Honda and like just smashing the one button to just like,
the rapid slap punch.
Yeah, and he's just sitting there doing that the whole time, and no one can touch him because.
And then you get mad to it on your controller. You're using the same move over.
But you know what?
Stuff.
But to be fair, Tyler would probably do the same thing.
Well, this
I never used.
He is known.
No,
he is known to repeat the same moves over and over and over and over again. I'm not going to let that go.
I don't repeat the same moves. I do so many.
Yeah, because he's referencing like one particular game, whereas I beat him in Street Fighter with Ryu and Balrog and Sagat.
I don't remember that.
Well, I know I beat you with Ryu.
I'm thinking about SmackDown.
I know you are.
I can't
let the Jeff Hardy roll up. All right, Joe.
So many things that could be unexpected. I mean, first, I used to always like coming out with that torpedo strike to head. I would sometimes jump in the air with the kick, and then sometimes when they come by me, I love going, grabbing them in the bear hug. Yes, I would go into the 100-hand slap combo, but the one that usually caught them off guard is when you charge down and up and punch or up and kick, and you do that flying where he comes down with his ass to like land on top of their heads. That was
Joe, you're cussing again, man.
Oh, I mean, no, but that is his ass. But he would do that.
He's trying to cover it up. It's okay. I was using it to describe E Honda.
And one time with one of my friends, talk about when people would just get so upset. It was Dalsim, and he loved being Ryu. And then he would go to Ken, but he'd always just do the, Hadouken, Hadouken. That's like all he'd do. So I was down.
Joe's like, this is beneath me. I know so many more special moves for all the characters in this game.
I like working.
You know why Joe was so dismissive? Like, look, Tyler, we don't want you ranting so long about DC versus He-Man, but we're talking Street Fighter and He-Man. I need to have time to.
I got to talk about my video games and how superior.
My moment, because you brought up if I'd use the same moves, and I wouldn't. So Dalsim, I was just doing his long kick where I kicked him in the face. Then he would jump at me to try to get me, and I'd slowly jump in the air, kick him. And I was doing it so much because I knew it'd piss him off, and he was like, "Can't you do another move?" So I was like, "Yeah, okay." So he jumped at me.
Sounds like me to Tyler in any of the other games we've played.
And I did that unexpected move where it was like an X-Men vs. Street Fighter where he said, "Yoga," and he jumped up and he caught Ryu with his legs and did the Super Frankensteiner where went boom, 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 boom. And he's like, "Forget this game." And I remember him throwing my controller, which pissed me off because those were controllers.
See, honestly, Joe, if it was me, I would have thrown it at your head because I did that to one of my friends when he was beat me in a game. It wasn't Tyler.
Yeah.
It was my friend Josh. We were playing Troy Aikman football on Super Nintendo. Yeah. Let's just make this really obscure. And he was beating me, and I got mad. So I picked up my controller, and I threw it, and it hit him right in the back of the head. And I stormed out of the room, and he sat there. He just sat there, and then I came back in the room, and I was like focused, and I like beat him. It's weird, Joe. I feel like, because we have discussed this, if you and I were to play a competitive video game together, it would be like the Mega Powers explode.
It would be. I mean,
I feel like at the end of it, we'd end up like punching each other, and all these guys would be like, "Oh, I thought they were so nice."
It would probably be pretty.
And Nathan would be fighting to tear Joe's mask off. Like that's all Nathan would be doing.
Yeah, no, I would be like Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio at Halloween Havoc '97. You'd be like kind of like knocked out a little bit. I'd be like grabbing on your mask. I'd be like just ripping it from your face, and you're just like, "Oh no, they can't see it."
Or you could make it a ladder match, and you guys are fighting for fighting for Dominic or something.
Oh no! Why would you bring that up? That was so stupid.
I'll be Dominic. You guys are fighting for the right to podcast with me.
Oh God. And the whole thing. And yes, all right, Joe's trying to not like cuss so much on this episode, but the thing in that match is Eddie's wife Vicky missed the cue. She was supposed to run down during the match, and you just see him. He's like, "Where the fuck is Vicky?" And he's just like really mad about it. But no, that was a terrible angle, a terrible match. Why would you even bring that up?
Because of the reaction I just got out of you.
God, it's like WrestleMania 17 all over again.
This is the way they pick on each other, guys. They have their certain little ticks that will just set each other off, and Tyler always knows there's certain ticks that will set Nathan off and drive him insane, and it usually revolves around wrestling most of the time. So
yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I think we pretty much. I tried to get everybody's, but now it's almost time to probably wrap it up. So what I'm going to say is again, thank you all for joining us in the chat room because again, we have a blast. I tried to acknowledge and answer all your questions. I hope I did. If I didn't, I'm sorry about that. But it's great having you here every week. And for anybody that's new to this channel, or if you're listening on iTunes, whatever, but if you're here right now on YouTube, hit subscribe, like, share, and make sure you ring that bell right down there, because you're always going to be notified when we go live and we have new content. So it was a blast. Tyler, Nathan, popping in. Always love having you joining us as well. So
I hope so, anyway.
exactly. And it was great having Emily, because you're really terrible. And until next time, have a powerful day.
You don't really think you'll win, do you?
Oh, well, that
Things
was
change.
You gave me an easy one. You gave me Penguin from Batman Returns.
He got it. Yay.
it. But
Yay.
all he said was, that's the Penguin. I said, that's not the entire quote. He goes, oh. And when I said things change, he goes, oh, well, I don't know what that is.
Well, I thought you were adding something different from a different movie, like they.
Why would I do that? I've never ever done that.
Well, see, that's why I think you didn't hear it, because I said Penguin from Batman Returns, but then you said, no, I'm not finished. I was like, oh, okay. And you went, and I was like, oh, then maybe somebody stole the quote from Batman Returns, put it in another movie, and Tyler's trying to stump me with a twist. So, oh, good, I did get it. So I'm not dumb, like Tyler said.
Well, you said it, like, oh, no, wait, I don't know what that is. Just because I added Batman's line to the quote?
I thought you were trying to stump me and twist me. I thought you were trying to, like, do a little twist. Sorry. Love you guys. See you next week.